Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new series of Imperator Rome, Invictus, here on the Lord Master channel, in which it's been a year since I last did a series on that, which was the first series I did with Invictus when I played as Sogdia. Yeah, that one felt like a long time ago, feels like 5 years ago, which matter of fact, it has been 5 years since the release of Imperator Rome, and now 5 years later, this game is still holding on to its relevance thanks to this Invictus mod, which is a must-have for anyone who is still playing Imperator Rome or has an interest of going back to playing that game. Unless you're somebody new and has never played this before, I would say please get this game and download the Invictus mod. Subscribe to the Invictus mod from the Steam Workshop. It makes it much more, you know, words can't describe it. Because, I'm just so damn happy to be back here again. As I will start a new game here. In which I'm sure you probably noticed the title of the video, which has probably surprised the heck out of you people. For those who are not keeping up with my posts on my YouTube channel, I post on rare occasions, that I would be doing a video series of a place that is overlooked to the world at large. Although here is Sogdia. This is where I last did the series on. That was the last time I did that. So now this new series will go way down to Arabia. South Arabia to be exact. In the modern area of Yemen. So I will be playing as the Kingdom of Saba, which is a rival of Kataba, which a little more of its history. In which down here in Asia, the countries of missions, both of them do have missions of their own. And so this is a numerous factors of why there. Because in the Sogdia series, when I did it last time, they didn't expand on the steps too much. I mean, this was recently added after I finished my Sogdian series. And it did some more changes to Central Asia and India. And even expanded upon Arabia as well. And I took a good look at Arabia, and this was these two missions regarding Saba and Kataba down there. That was fairly recent, a couple of months ago in fact. At least as far as memory is concerned, because I barely keep up with the dev diaries. So now, so basically early on, at least in this first episode, it would be a tale of these two kingdoms here. Only one can conquer the other in order to, like one would think the long-term goal is to fall Yemen to be exact. So again, Saba will be the country I play as, but pay attention to the heritage of those two. Look at Kataba first, at the Kataban heritage. Kataba was an ancient kingdom in southern Arabia that fought the old kingdom of Saba, first with tongues and later with blades. So the heritage is discipline plus 5%, their national commerce goes down minus 5%, and diplomatic reputation plus 1. I mean, sounds good, yes. And now, some of you are thinking, well, why Saba instead of this one? Because you'd be playing as a country with a stronger military. What matters is the population. 184, Saba's got 216. That's a little more. And if you have a higher population numbers, that increases the levy size a bit. Now for the Sabaean heritage, who are they? Saba was an ancient kingdom in southern Arabia that built the Dam of Marib. Long ago, Saba had subdued most of its neighbors, but many of these former vassals have rebelled, with Maine up north being the latest country to free themselves from Sabaean bondage. So the heritage effects here is minus 0.3 provincial loyalty, so that's bound to have problems later down the line if you're not careful with keeping watch on your provinces. plus 0.05 monthly legitimacy, which is always good, and global monthly food modifier plus 10%. Especially, this is due to the fact it is centered around Marib, which is Saba's capital. Although what they say about both of them is they're both of easy difficulty. But Saba in particular is not easy than what the description says. That is deceiving. And I'll show you why. And this is why I wanted to do the series on that in the first place. Although to be honest, I kind of had Bactria or one of the Indian entities like Parava, Yahodea, Kalinga, and the Tamilakam. I mean, I was thinking about doing an Indian-centric series, but decided to go with Southern Arabia first. Because, again, numerous reasons. This is the challenge that Saba will have, which I'll show you that in a moment. Oh, and actually, before we do that, there's also another entity I kind of had an interest in playing in, but I found it a bit difficult. And that's Tazin, which that difficulty is said to be hard. Not to mention tribal, in the middle of Arabia with hardly anything there, except you get to, you know, places like Gerha, or go up north to Kadar, and eventually down this way. I mean, I actually had some practice to it, but I find it a little bit time-consuming. Because everything of Imperator is just race against the clock. You gotta do these missions quickly and fast and all that. But the one I've done most practice in is Saba. And which, by the way, Saba is the place, just a little historical fact. Saba is considered to be the biblical land of Sheba. Yeah, the Queen of Sheba was from there. That's what it was said. Let me take a drink before we get started. So now, let's get going to Saba. The decline of Saba. And this is a bit of a theme early on, before we make a comeback. For the last centuries, our kingdom has been steadily declining in power and influence. When the Kingdom of Saba broke free from us almost 200 years ago, they started to undermine our position in the surrounding nations, which has had not a negligible impact on our international relations. When the Minayans in the north escaped from our control a century ago, it seemed that nothing could become worse. Yet, our current standing is not better than much better than these historic lows. Our army is disunited. We have no administration to speak of, and corruption runs rampant in this country. If we will not put an end to all this nonsense, then we will soon be a naught but a memory. And this is the place our old subject turned rival, Saba, wants to see us. May we halt our decline. So, this is what happens. The kingdom is in decline. This modifier will get gradually weaker as you progress through the mission tree for this nation. So right now, our discipline for our army, of our military, is minus plus 5%. Monthly corruption increases plus 0.05 each month. Our monthly political influence won't gain as much at minus 10%. And a monthly stability change at minus 0.6. So, despite the fact that the game tells you, it says, hey, the difficulty is easy. This, however, is not. And for me, I like a good challenge. Because, you know, I'm the kind of person that likes to play as smaller nations or nations that gets overlooked. And as long as they have the mission trees themselves, and if they give you certain missions or scenarios that feels like, can you overcome those odds? But for me, I'm the kind of person that says, yes, I can. But you need to have some practice to it. You need to practice figure out the right approach, figure out the right strategy on how to deal with all these things. And this first episode is how I do it. Because honestly, if you were going to do a playthrough on Catawba, you'll actually have a much easier time because they have more discipline than Saba does. Especially if you start with the innovations and you want to increase discipline further. And then nothing stands in your way. But I want to be the underdog in this fight. Though we do have more population than they do, so this gives us more levy numbers. Which we'll show you all that in a moment. Along with a few other changes, since there was the 5th anniversary patch for Imperator Rome. And among other things. Alright, so let's get down to business. And before we do that, activate this mission. Title drop here. Return of the Sabaean Kingdom. Hundreds of years ago, our Kingdom of Saba was the dominant power in our corner of the Arabian Peninsula. We controlled the trade route of the Sinus Arabicus, and our neighbors were forced to submit to our authority. But these days are long gone. Revolts in our north and our south saw our former vassals in Catawba break free from our control, and they've been pressing hard against us ever since. Though the road ahead is fraught with unknown dangers, we cannot continue as we are. We must fight against the march of history and restore our nation to greatness. So the completion criteria is that this mission will be complete once we have halted our decline and start to rise again by reestablishing our power. Although in real life history, for what little I've read about it, actually Catawba is the one that overcame the Sabaeans. Especially they formed a coalition against it and defeated. But still the entities, they continue to persist centuries later until the rise of the Imperator Kingdom, which is mostly around the timeline after the game's timeline of Imperator. Which the Imperator Kingdom in itself in Yemeni history is just as fascinating as this one. And let me be honest with you, before I hit the start mission here, there were instances in the past whenever I play CK3, Crusader Kings 3 in my free time. Like if I wanted to do an Islamic playthrough and all that, Yemen was always a hot spot for me to do, in the sense of I'm fascinated with the history of it and the things that came before and this position of the trade routes. I'm always fascinated by that. So we're doing this here on Imperator, where we go back further in time in 304 BCE. Right, let's begin. And look at this mission tree here, of how many missions that we ought to do. That's plenty. And we mentioned corruption. Well, this is how it begins. By all measures, our kingdom appears to be in decline. Our power and ability to project our might has considerably weakened over the last couple hundred years. All is not lost, however. So, the kingdom is in decline. This task will take 30 days to complete. We gained 15 corruption for our ruler. And he gains 150 of his personal wealth, not the nation's wealth, his own money. And we get 50 political influence just to start off with. So, it is undeniable that Saba has been wallowing in a period of decline and decay for the last 200 years, with symptoms of the rot appearing even before then. If things do not change quickly, then it is possible that an already precarious situation becomes worse. Thankfully, Khalib Hazragi, who is our Malik king, has vowed to bring better days to the Sabaean people. While some of our kinsmen have lost hope, many believe that Khalib will save us. We are only just beginning to fight. Not all is lost. Stay with me, people. We're gonna get through this together. We're gonna weather this storm, and we're gonna overcome the odds. And think of clever strategies of how to deal with our rivals from both external and internal. So in 30 days' time, until October 31st, we must look to outward ambitions. So now, let's focus on ourselves here. This is our man here. This is Khalib Hazragi. Hazragi is in the dynasty, and he is the Malik, king. We are an autocratic monarchy, which is the same government type that I was playing as with Sogdia last year. So this man here, he has two traits. He's extravagant. Khalib is extremely extravagant, wastefully spending much of the wealth on superficial and material things. As a result of this, however, his willingness to shower envoys and foreign rulers with gifts has earned us their favor in return. So the monthly wealth goes down. Effective ruler, which he is, it costs a bit more money to build buildings, but improves opinion maximum for those who wish to improve relations with our neighbors, which I don't think it'll be wise because they all want to kill us. They all want to conquer us. And he is also crafty. Wheedling, conniving, and cunning may not be attractive qualities, but they're never unhelpful ones. Plus 20 corruption! While 2 finesse, enslavement efficiency plus 2%, monthly status plus 0.05%, and plus 5% to grade 1 of construction. But look at the corruption. Now, corruption is a measurement of willingness of a character to engage in underhanded practices. Greed, bribery, and the bending of rules come hand in hand with high corruption. Because of the Kingdom of Decline, and he's currently siphoning funds, which is usually off the start of a game, that amount of corruption that we see here is unacceptable. There are ways to try to keep the corruption down, but it's a very slow process. And look at the following effects due to corruption. Monthly wage skyrocketed at plus 87.50%. Monthly legitimacy goes down a bit. The monthly political influence is minus 17.50%. While the population migration speed increases a bit. Because of him being crafty, as I said, the corruption just skyrocketed. And this is just to reflect on the situation here. It's not just this nation, it's this man as well. But nevertheless, he's a married man. This is his wife, who is a carouser, a partier at heart. Habibat enjoys the company of good friends as much as the company of wine, constantly inviting colleagues, diplomats to lavish parties. Habibat unwillingly builds connections through their love of drink and banquets. So more friends for her. And she's also merciful. Mercy can take in many forms, and she knows them all. So, unlike me with the enslavement efficiency, this one is lesser. So, I'm not a nice guy. I'm a swindler, corrupt man. Whereas she is the nice one. These are my children. And yet, somehow, this 2-year-old is the primary heir rather than this one here. But I'm going to bookmark favorite both of you so I can keep track when time goes on. Well, now let's go for the character focus. But as I noticed right away, his skills are not that great. They're all considered poor in my eyes. 3 zeal, 4 finesse, despite being crafty. 5 martial, no charisma. So it would be wise to go for martial. So we should go for strategy focus. That's +1 martial, just to help him out a bit. If he were to lead his levies into battle against, forces like Kataba. So, It's a small improvement nonetheless. But we hope in the long run that he'll get better. We mentioned before, this is an autocratic monarchy. Conferring absolute power, the title of an autocratic monarchy is hereditary. So let's get these ideas in. Marshal ethos for more morale of armies over to the other two. Because you've got to have more morale. And for civic, let's have standardized construction because I want to reduce the build cost and time a bit more whenever we get to build our nation after we defeat our rivals. And for religious ideas, we should have state religion, increase the country's civilization and monthly civilization change. Because look, barbarians are near. If they ever pop up, it would cause huge problems with me. Especially if we're in such a weakened state. You don't want to have that in your conscience, not do you? No. Inventions. I'm going to start off with 4, just like with Sogdia, because they all start with Tech 1. Whereas most of the more developed nations, they start off with 2, where they get 8 innovations. We start off with 4. So I'm willing to go all the way with this. So, military artisans, you get 1 free province investment, which will be used later. Basic training for starting experience. Active drill for increased discipline, which will cancel out the Kingdom of Decline's effect towards discipline. And then with professional training, just to add more discipline. And also have experience decay reduced by 0.50%. So this will cancel out our Kingdom of Decline's effect on discipline, while increase it a bit more, so we'll be at the same level as Kataba's discipline. But if we wait longer, they're going to get stronger each passing year, knowing them. But only if they eliminate us. And this is what makes this series different than I did with the Sogdians. Obviously, the main religion of the land is Arabic. Pre-Islamic or Arabic religion. So, religion in Arabia was a polytheistic mixture of deities, aspects, and demons. Practiced in localities and enclaves around the region, Allah, the creator god, may have been worshipped as the head of the pantheon during this period, in some locations. So this is what makes us different than the Hellenics and all the others. The following benefits is hostile attrition plus 0.50, enslavement efficiency plus 5%, while loyalty of characters goes down by minus 3. And we already do have a handful of disloyal characters here. And these are our pantheon deities we start off with. Aliat. The great Aliat will stand among our men and bless them with knowledge of war, to secure their loyalty and morale. With their discipline strengthened, we are sure to win many wars and find victories where we never could before. This will help us to increase our morale of armies much further, which will make us last long in a fight. So these are Arabic deity of war. This is Shams, the Arabic deity of economy. Shams is a South Arabian sun goddess and patron goddess of the Himyarite Kingdom. Her counterpart in North Arabia is the sun goddess Nunha. Ancient Arabian religion focuses on local gods, with every tribe and kingdom having their specific protective deities. However, there are also gods common for all Arabs, such as the Trinity representing the sun, the moon, and the planet Venus, through their names. Gender and worship differ between regions. Thus, Shams is called Nunha in the north. In Mesopotamia, Shams is identified with the male sun god Shamesh, just as the male Arabian god Attha is linked to the Mesopotamian goddess Ishtar. Shams often presented as the wife of Arta. When calling upon it, this would reduce our corruption, which will continue to plague us for a good portion of this series early on. This is the Arabic deity of culture. Is the deity of the moon and weather in Kataba. Is also the Arabic word for paternal uncle. The inhabitants of the kingdom refer to themselves as Banu or the children of Like Amaka and other South Arabian deities, he is symbolized at least in part by lightning bolts. His wife is the goddess Asherat, who is the same as the Ugaritic goddess Atirat. He is supported by the legalistic Oracle deity Ande. The effects is just monthly civilization change up. What call about? And finally, the Arabic deity of fertility, Talab. Talab is the lunar deity who has certain influence over the earth, fertility, and the harvest. We call upon his oracle to give us advice on how to proceed in times of need. Although you can change to any of the others anytime, but you know, there's other priorities and worries here, as we all know. But at least in passive effects we have cold starting experience, which we don't have in Legion yet. Monthly stability change, monthly political influence, increased poverty capacity. I mean, they're all pretty good to start off with. We do have one in our one treasure. This is the Talab Shrine Oracle. The Talab Shrine Oracle is the South Arabian moon god and also protector of pastures. His oracle is consulted for advice. Yes. This is just to add a bit more of the local monthly food modifier here. Oh my god. Perhaps in the far future we can help out with that. And yes, there are some areas that has Israelites faithful, not, you know, Hebrew. That's a difference. Yeah, Israelite Sabaean. So it's been nearly 30 minutes, so let's call upon this deity of war just to give us more morale of our armies. See what we can import, which honestly there isn't much to import. This one for the experience decay. This one for the noble happiness. Let's get the incense in. Wood, get it from Kataba. That's for more local manpower. And also I thought of this. Look at our military. This is our number of levies. 2 supply trains, 4 light infantry, 6 light cavalry, 6 horse archers, 4 camel cavalry. That's good numbers. But I'm not exactly the best military leader for this. And there are other ways to get more levies. And that is to expand to other regions. We live in Arabia Felix, and then there's the land of Punt, and then there's Arabia. And there is colonizable territory. These two here. So I thought to myself, the only way to get more levies is to colonize Punt a bit more. So, again, we're spending manpower for this, which manpower and levies is a different case altogether, so send them. Colonize these two. This would take a couple of months. And then we'll... And before we finally get on pause, Mariba, our capital, is home to the Marib Dam. For the nation, this adds more global monthly food modifier. And for the whole province of Arabia Felix Centralis, our capital province, this adds more local population growth, population capacity, and local monthly food modifier. So there's plenty of food to go around, but these are the only areas where it has farmlands, so there's always room for improvement. And I await for the day to improve upon that. And plus we have 2 ships, maybe. So, merchant together. Because I've noticed that Catawba has 6 ships. And then when we eventually expand into Punt against Abalatia, they have 4 ships. Hadronwood 4. And our northern neighbor of Maine has 4. We need to double it to try to keep up with the growth. So we don't get beaten at the seas. It only costs 5 gold to recruit each and every one of them. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And earlier I mentioned, how do we reduce? Okay, well, reduce a tiny bit of the fleet maintenance because we're not using it right now. Actually, get to that, keep it maintained, knowing one day they're gonna be used. Morale will go back up, don't worry about it. It's just accidental. Reduced wages adds corruption. Increasing wages reduces monthly corruption. So, to reduce corruption, we got to increase the wages. Although it's not enough to stop unless I tell myself to stop siphoning the funds. But you know, I'm gonna get more income due to, you know, these increased wages. So there's absolutely no reason to do that right now. But what you should be doing is to gain more political influence. Reduce corruption, gain more influence. That's the way to do it. I'll lose a tiny bit of popularity, but I'll get my popularity back up by any means. And so finally, ladies and gentlemen, my kingdom may be in decline, but we'll try to turn this around as we finally unpause right now after we've given a long intro of what this series is about. All these ships here traveling together. They got a bunch of damn good admirals, all level 8s. Ah yes, alliances. I need to ally with you. Because, you know, scared of up there and want to beat them. It's a race against time, you know. Outward ambitions. Though we have plenty of issues to deal with at home, this does not mean that our ambitions do not face outward. There are plenty of tribes throughout the Arabia Felix that we will soon find ourselves engaging with. So we'll spend 30 political influence and we'll get a claim on the whole of Arabia Felix. This will take 180 days complete until the 29th of April. See, I gain a tiny bit of income. There's no need to siphon funds. That adds corruption. Don't want to be more corrupt than I already am. That hurts the legitimacy gain. While we will slowly build up our navy, just to protect our shore, as well as the expansion of the other shores. Hadramut calls to arms. We want them to join against Ad. This is a war that they have started. Okay. But I can't guarantee to be there for you because you're against a weaker entity. Now, Ad, that is the heritage of the truly lost tribe. Settled in the sparsely populated cliffs and crevices of the empty quarter of Arabia, the Adites were a people rarely seen by outsiders, almost wholly forgotten, even by their neighbors. It is said that on the rare and dangerous occasions, their rash worship brings upon the land they inhabit raging storms which dwarf all those found in or outside Arabia. And these storms are a blessing and a curse. They feed the people's thirst, but even in the desert the storms could drown what is left of the Adites, even their memory, and that of the famed markets of Uba, in which thousands of sacks of frankincense were always sold. Less population growth for them, more omen power, and less slaves needed for surplus. They're a settled tribe. And who are the Hadramut? The Hadrami? Hadramut was an old Arabian kingdom that changed their religion frequently, thus making it more flexible. So, they have same religion happiness, more omen power to them. However, fort maintenance is quite expensive on their end. And also I kind of noticed there's this other entity there, which is something I failed to mention. This is the only other area that is Arabic and Sabaean. Shakal. One of the several trade ports along the frankincense coast of Shakal was set up on the stretch of the shoreline, which could supply not only myrrh, but fragrant woods and some dates as commodities to incoming merchants who would bring in wares from Egypt or from the lands of the Indoi, far to the east. Like its name reports, Shakal brings in large immigrating population of craftsmen and masters who refine the natural products that come in and are grown. Why should grow? More aggressive expansion back, more naval range. Plutocratic Republic. No alliance for us. Guess Hadramut is enough. I could ally with you, but why on earth would we want to do that? We're gonna have a claim against you soon. You know, the claims are going to come in by April 29th. So I suggest stop right now. On March 1st, I'm more than anxious to start a war against Kataba. So in the meantime, hey, what do you say about access? Would you mind giving me access? Just for future reference. To gain military access with these two, because we're about to colonize this area, and I'm going to need my men to get over here. And we don't have enough ships to carry those levies across from safe ports, and we do not have the money nor the time to build the ports. Raise the levy. Stand by the board. It's a matter of luck with this, so keep it with deception. Put in position here. In preparation for war, and also our colonies, which will be finished on the 30th of March. The greatest threat to any nation comes not from without, but from within. A concentrated fighting between those who would name themselves heir and could consume themselves countless resources and lives. Our spies at the court are certain that Malik Karab Hazargi, a man who has made no secret of his ambitions for the throne, is plotting to ensure his future by doing away with the competition. We should keep a watchful eye on him. Hell, that man, he's better than me in every way, shape, or form. And he's not corrupt. He's a skeptic, but he's kindly. So I'm not quite sure what that man is like, other than his current job as researcher. So I'll say, nonsense. We should put more faith in our subjects. Colony finished. Now we need a governor. In actuality, we need a general to lead a levy force. And we have found our man here. This is a different, he's a Mnean. Not a Sabaean, but he's a tactician. That's excellent. Whereas some just see as a worldly matter, Malik Karab sees patterns, weaknesses, and ultimately victory. That would be a benefit. And he's also a vengeful man. So, gotta be careful with him. Since he's of the wrong culture. But nevertheless, we need to get him with us. Raise the levies and bring them over here to Sabatea. It'll take you time to get there, but please. In position. Circumstances change quickly in the Sabaean court. It appears that plotting is no longer necessary, for now. Very well then. Caleb Hazaragi has long argued that the fortunes of Saba would be improved by pursuing an aggressive foreign policy, and that time has come to see if his ideas have merit. After a short period of preparations, our claims on Arabia Felix have been completed, allowing us to wage wars with impunity now that we have the justification to do so. Arabia Felix belongs to the Sabaeans. So now, our next objective, next mission, is conquer Katab. The time has come to send our forces southward, into the hilly regions controlled temporarily by Kataba. The hour of battle is at hand. So, the main objectives is to take their capital Tamna and then own Adan. And the rewards will be great. All we need to do is just get them over here, then we'll get started. And plus, we will not start a war until he's come, because look at him. Marshal of 9. He's got the command focus. See, I can't do it alone. I cannot beat him on a battlefield. You can. You're the tactician here. Once it gets over to Safar, cancel the military access to Kataba, in which war will begin in earnest once they arrive at Sabatia. Future reference. Cancel the access. We got our boys over. It's only another couple months now until they get here. Building a slave trader. Although this is a place where they make incense, so I guess more power to them. Well, we're gonna inherit all that. But once in your position, in the 5th of November, that'll be the day. Arrived. So before we start, see what they're doing. They're trying to besiege this area, although Ad has already occupied a part of that. Kataba, they have 8 ships. We have 4, as does Alavitia, which we may have to fight them one day as well. An infant? What happened to him? Just 2 months ago. He just died. Killed in a tragic hunting accident at 24. Oh. Well, that makes him vulnerable. Well then. I mean, maybe after we deal with Kataba, we should even consider getting them, but remember, we do not have claims over this area at all. None of that. But it is part of the objectives. Like, I have to deal with them, then you got these. If I were you, fabricating the claim is 30 political influence, while increasing a bit. Why not? For Punt, we already have a colony there, so taking the rest of Punt would be beneficial to us. Yeah. Okay, you're the primary heir now, not the younger one. It makes a little sense. A little to no sense. You are the firstborn. You are the secondborn. That's how life works. And already, for a 5-year-old yourself, you've gained plenty of zeal. Again, this is a result of his scheme of growing up until age 12. I never even bothered to look at the other things, such as the offices of, okay, who's running what regarding skills. I mean, I could shuffle around and all that, but there's bigger things to worry about, such as a war with Catawba. So, here it goes. Take Arabia Felix Centralis, which is here. This part here is Arabia Felix Orientalis, and this is Catawba proper. We can call our ally in, as they have no allies of their own, thankfully. One would think this would be an easy war, but not quite. This is a matter of luck. Like, if you get the first strike in, and if you win that first strike, you win the war. If you lose your first battle, you already lost the war. That is the thing here. Because that man, Leon, has a higher martial than I. I can never defeat him on the battlefield. But my other man can, if we get lucky. Depends on the tactic he's using and how we can counter it. So this means we have to take this, then take this, and where's the other provincial capital? It's there, somewhere. Annex the whole nation, and then we're going to be on the right track. And then go into Punt, into the land of Punt, which is what the navy is for. Need to defeat their navy, so we can control the straits, and so our troops can come across there and take everything that they have. And with more ports for us, then that means, well, that's going to be for later talk. We cannot be thinking this far ahead until we defeat Catawba. Alright, let's go for it. No longer importing incense nor wood. It's alright, we can get... well, we can't get incense anymore. But there is myrrh. We can get it from Hadramut, our ally. And, of course, grain from Axum. I like how his opinion says, don't care, have some grain. Thank you very much. This will definitely feed our people, especially during the winter months. Especially to have the food to go around as we're giving it to our troops stationed in Sabatea as we're on our way to them. Look at our movements, so. West Levy, please wait a day. Okay, now this, yeah, the smaller levy will be there a day later, because I know they're going to raise their levies there, so we'll know what proper tactic we'll use against them. They are 9,000 strong, or 13,000 strong. It is very likely that our side will win because we have a better commander, we have a stronger army, and our army is higher morale than theirs, which is the most important thing, besides discipline. They cannot escape. And our morale is not all the way up because they just deployed. Okay, hold it right there. Before you arrive in the day, what tactic are you using? They're using deception. Envelopment would deal this amount of damage against an army using deception. Use envelopment. Watch this. Thought I switched it to envelopment, but we got him. We have the numbers, we have the morale, we have the better commander. Despite the better dice roll he got. All done. Split up the levy. Need one to stay back to besiege the area. Deselect, and we'll go with you. Hunt them down. Already a breach. They have 7 ships. Oh, that's 5. Once you're done with that, take this, and then that. I'm just gonna chase them down. Don't let them get away, and don't let them recover. The smaller we are, the faster we are. Because there is no doubt they're gonna go all the way down there. At least the Infant King isn't doing anything right now to interfere in our affairs. Fugitives across the board. Fleeing the dreadful war of Axum, a number of important dignitaries have managed to escape to our lands, hoping to find refuge. Our advisors recommend against them giving asylum, due to the fragile political circumstances in our region. Indeed, much favor may be gained with Axum, if we were to finish the job for them. Well, Axum is the one that gives us their grain. Let me see. Arabic faith. Good. They worship our gods. Let me look at each and every one of you, regarding statesmanship. You got finesse. I'll give you that. Pillager, cold blood. Fortunately, you've lost your family recently. But we can welcome you. We're all considered minor covetous. We'll bring them in. We may have something for you. But again, the minor characters. We'll have this capital soon. Just can't lose sight of them. We got them. When their morale is lowered, they're more than likely to lose the battle. Oh, they got a better tactic over us. But we have more morale than they do. Got him. Up we go. We'll have this capital soon. And then we'll move down here. Because I have an idea where they're going. Also switch tactics. More fugitives. town's been conquered. Alright. The Adites have been conquered by Hadramut. Come on in. You are our people. By our people, I mean South Arabian. So that means Hadramut will now be committed to this war, which I believe it's too little too late. We got this handled. Khalib has led his men to glorious victory during the siege of Tamna. The enemy flee in disgrace. All that is left is to decide how to treat the residents within. Needless to say, the spoils of war are likely to cause those back in Mariba to admire Khalib greatly, but leaving such wealth in the hands of one man could cause problems in future. Well, I do need the money. 2 tribes will be killed, even though we're not tribal government, so this doesn't matter to us. So let the men roam freely. I don't want that option. Well, I'm a man of no charisma, and I don't kind of want the tyranny. So let the men roam freely then. Saba gained 66 gold, as I do gain 66 wealth for myself, and increasing our family's prestige. We got him. Move down. Take the objectives. Take this spiritual capital here, and then get that while we go chase them. We have received happy news from the province of Saba, where local officials report constantly abundant harvests after experimenting with new methods of land management. Leaving them to their work will no doubt swell the food stores of the province, but the managers and their practices might be more useful distributed across the farmlands of Saba. Saba's the name of the province, keep that well in mind. It's over there. This is the province of Saba as a whole. It's permanent. Saba will be a Konukuba. So the province of Saba gains excellent land management, adding local monthly food modifier up. Yes, the farmers of this province are renowned for their shrewdly administered productive tracts. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Even though that's only on the coastal plains the ones that are more fertile. We'll work on the farmlands in future there. We'll catch them there. We switched tactics and hopefully we'll finish them off. Nowhere to run. Take this area, one more battle, and the war is won. Thank goodness we had to colonize Punt first so we can get additional levies and a better man of martial acumen, because I wouldn't have done it myself. Here he's trying to go for bottleneck. We're fighting up in their hills, but we got him. Took a bit more casualties, but price we ought to pay. Head to there. In anticipation for the upcoming war after this one. To connect our part of Punt to the rest. That's my next conquest. That's their ships. Needed to go to safe port. Well, nowhere is safe now. Wait for it. It's pretty much textbook. $11 on aggressive expansion. That's pretty high. But Catawba has been beaten. This will make us a regional power now. After a protracted conquest, we have finally routed the Katabian armies, laid waste to their lands. During the sacking of their capital, many important prisoners were taken. Many of them were previously held in important positions in the Katabian court. They now languish in our dungeons, awaiting whatever fate we decide to impose upon them. Banish those of class and put the rest to the sword. This is just to reduce the aggressive expansion, so they'll be banished to foreign lands instead of executed or incarcerated. And those of Katabian culture will not be happy with us, but we don't want to make them mad much further. Because this is our land now. We increased in rank. We are now a regional power country instead of a local power, since we are now an independent country with at least 25 territories and more. So the following special rules can be used. Guarantee other countries can threaten war, have alliances, and foreign effects. Cheaper building costs, provincial loyalty goes down tiny bit. Integrated culture happiness up. Capital import routes up. Integration. Monthly wages. Diplomatic relations. Monthly political influence. Reduction of the war score cost. Plus 50% of diplomatic range, which is needed for trade. Threshold for civil wars reduced by -3%. And +2 of maximum. Mercenary armies. You know, mercenaries, that would be a good alternative to just using our levies and such. By August, we can start a war against them. Because they look very vulnerable. Especially whenever their king leads their levies. It will be led by a child, or none at all. We can beat them easily. But their ships, however, well, there's still room for improvement. Which, by the way, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Need more. A few more ships, just to have at least a dozen. That would be a proper number. Because you know we have a lot of cohorts, right? And we need to maintain a pretty good navy. And it's also to fend off against potential pirates. And if need be, we may consider introducing galleys. And so we do, and since we do have more of the of a few cities, especially coastal cities, for future trades, that would be good to have. Put this area here as the provincial capital. Not here. I know the corruption is really hurting you, and I'm trying to fix that by giving them more wages, and among other things. And this is now part of Arabia, like Central, instead of being alone. So we have conquered it, and this is the reward we're gonna get. 25 political influence, 25 military experience, and 250 gold! One of the sweetest victories ever achieved in the history of the Sabaean people has been achieved. Thanks to the efforts of Khalib Hazragi, or Malik, our armies have utterly vanquished the nation of Kataba, one of our most ancient rivals. It was said that our forces marched through our subjected cities and settlements with sick pleasure and dark purpose, causing countless miseries to a vanquished and helpless enemy that are best left unrepeated. Our histories are filled with stories of the perfidious Katabans and of the struggles waged between our peoples. And yet, this is no more. Theirs was a kingdom with a foundation built upon the sand, and we have trampled their kings underfoot and cast their people into the winds. All glory to Saba! Huzzah! We'll get to Africa and to Punt soon. But now, let's focus on expanding our capital city. Our capital city, Mariba, is in need of some repairs, particularly the Marib Dam that supplies our people with water. Khalib has to make restoring our city a priority. We need to have 5 buildings. So, upon completion, it'll be a resplendent capital, which will have increased population capacity, more local city building slots, more local civilization level up, and Sabaean nobles, citizens, and freemen will appear there. Let's get to work. And just to get ahead of time, after that, we'll have to expand the irrigation network, as the Marib Dam Reservoir is a key player to ensuring that our crops are watered, and our food-producing territories in Bashola and Nagia will benefit greatly from an expanded irrigation network. So, Mariaba needs to have an academy, and these 2 farming settlements. And upon completion, we'll be spending quite a bit of money to permanently get these expanded irrigation networks. Which again, this produces grain, here this is horses, and here livestock. So, get me an academy, get me a tax office, get me a library, and you have your 5 buildings. And this here, get a farming settlement up. And then we'll have a second farming settlement there in near future. While we continue to build our fleet. Excuse me, just a moment. I'm trying to get them positioned here for the upcoming war for our conquest of Punt. Sabaean fortunes are rising. Over time, our kingdom has achieved both greater wealth and power. Traditionally, we have relied on the ability and valor and dignity of our ancient and honorable families. With rising fortune, there's also ample opportunity for new men of quality to rise beyond their birthright. Some families have, to a greater degree than others, achieved power and influence in our kingdom. There's perhaps room for one of them to leave a lasting legacy among the Sabaean elites. Let me see your skills and statesmanship. Even though you are of the incorrect religion, I'm going to give you this because you got the skills, you got the statesmanship, as you are Rasa, which is the monarch's chief diplomat, responsible for the reputation of the ruler and state and foreign court. You're good at your job. You're one of the elites now. We're going to give parts of your family some jobs. Because the gods know that y'all need it. you from a prominent family, by the way? Let's put this... Okay, can't move that. Okay. Show the families. So, we know this man, he's the vassal, but need to give at least one more to someone. One of you's got to qualify for something. You're good at charisma. You stay. Zeal is 7. Your statesmanship, 35. 32. Okay. We got one. There's room. And, we've mentioned before, I think we found our admiral. Especially somebody who's been born with us. He's a young man. The green highlighter, that's new. This was part of the patch for Imperator. It's just to let you know that it has a surplus. Import wood from Catawba instead of from elsewhere. What surplus the letter do for those? Spearman defense. We don't have spearmen. We don't use that. It's just to add local manpower. Axum, we're good trade partners. You gave us your grain, we're going to give you leather. Until September 1st next year. That's when we'll start our war. So the Navy's priority is to block that strait so they don't leave, and to defeat the Navy, or lack thereof. They just need to be in position. Heated debates in court are not uncommon, especially where so many prominent members of society are involved. Lately, a wave of xenophobia swept across Saba, resulting in foreign values being regarded with great distrust. All attendants at today's debate agreed that Sabae has crossed the line today when he accused Malik Khalid of indulging in barbaric Telugu practices. Telugu? Turn the other cheek. This man here, he's a lace. A lace is the court physician for medical treatment and health of the monarch. I could become rash, but I like to see my finesse increase. It's good to have finesse. This is for, you know, especially it helps with the building construction costs. Higher finesse is actually reducing that. So I'll turn it the other cheek. So he's not a nice man because of his xenophobia. He's on check. And now this is my third son, Bashir. Come on, get away from there. You're siphoning the food. Because of all of us being stationed here. Supply limit. I'm not disbanding the levies yet. I don't see anything else we could trade. Because if we wanted to have more wood, these other entities will not give it away. For hemp locally. Put it here. This is for slave happiness. What's going on up there? An Thamudi war. You started this, and appears to be even. Gotta keep an eye on those developments, because after we deal with them, we should go after them as well. Need some help down there? So you're against two entities. Because I would love to have you as what do you call? Feudatory, yes. Because it seems you got Mundia handled. Because, you know, you're the one that started it and you're being beaten for it. And your ally is pretty far off over there. We could intervene, but I mean, we still have access with them. We could just simply walk over and get to you, yes. Just want to see what's going on over there. You're in retreat. Who's in retreat? I have to assume our new ally down there. What the hell are we waiting for? Head down there. Maybe we could flex our muscles with this. Look at us intervening in these matters. Requesting access. Do you need our help? Because if not, well... improving relations with you would be nice, but... you got bad stability. They're gonna try to retake it back. Which again, I'm concerned for you. Monday, this is so. What territory is this? Muslim. It's part of all this. There's nobody there. I mean, it's occupied by Shaka. But, Shaka is the one that's in retreat. But again, we're moving in just in case. The veneration of ancestors. Deep forgotten in the rural hinterlands of Kataba. A cult venerating our ancestors instead of our gods has become somewhat prominent among the locals. Speaking at length about our ancient traditions and ways, they're looking past our guidance on how to live our lives. Bringing these cultists to our society would make us connect more closely with the rural elements of our society at the cost of our relationship with our urban subjects. Jiminy Chris, that's... I need increased stability, not decrease. And I don't want tyranny either. I mean, it has its benefits and negatives, but just leave them be. This is only for a couple of years. Leave them be. Okay, we'll improve relations with you if we can get there. See if we can try to save you and bring you into this territory. If not, then you're going to be conquered, and then you'll be in a very bad place. Because, you know, these are our fellow Sabaeans. Oh, only a few Sabaeans live there. Oh, hell. They're still in retreat. I wish I could intervene, but only great powers could do that. Hadramut is thinking about breaking an alliance with us. Oh, that's fine, because strong as you look, but we're cleverer. And plus, you're a potential, you know, growing rival. See, we could beat both of you. Hadramut has insulted us. You fight like a goat herder. Is that so? Oh my goodness. That's another danger. Pirates. Okay, they're not thinking about breaking an alliance just yet. Otherwise, we would have got the notification that they did indeed break us. They don't have the men yet, but soon they will. Well, I ask you, again, do you need to call us into your war? Or am I going to have to come over there and offer you as a feudatory? I'll even send you a gift. It's all about appeasement politics here. I'll even befriend you. I'm willing to do whatever to get you in with us. Even though it may sound fruitless, but hey, it's an effort. The official diplomatic channels offer many ways to impress and show our respect for Iran Harbi. An diplomatic envoy is perhaps the most obvious, bringing gifts and publicly expressing our desire for friendship. We could also send a religious delegate to tour our temples of his country, or attempt to win a favor with the choice of imposing soldiery. Send a lavish religious delegation. Moving close. Come on. Because they're gonna siege this area, and it might be too late to bring him in as a feudatory. Unless we can befriend him. But I don't know if we can do that while we're at peace. We have the claim now. Of all the ways of making friends, a gift is perhaps the oldest and simplest. In the world of politics, wealth is shared generously and unconditionally as more influence than kind words of affection. How much is a friendship worth? The state has deep pockets. If we lose this, well, there's much bigger game here. Maybe one day we'll release this whenever we, continue our way through as time goes on. previously unknown gladiator has recently risen in great prominence in the arena, drawing huge crowds and by all accounts putting on a peerless show. The man's been causing quite a stir, selling out packed arenas, securing fish sauce sponsorships, and netting gamblers vast sums of money. Sending a fighter show on a tour of the court of Iran before he inevitably gets himself killed could be an easy way to greet ourselves. Send the man to serve in his personal bodyguard. Okay, we're in position, but might be too little too late, and we'll just have to turn around and deal with Punt here. What do you say? Friends or no? Friends. Okay. Yeah, you can't do that. They're at war. They're willing to accept, but they're at war. But they're not, you know, called into war. It's too late. Maybe it's because of the whole manpower situation with the levies deployed and all. But I'm not afraid. Wherever you may go when your nation is lost. Again, they're the ones that started it. Once a plutocratic republic, the other is a plutocratic monarchy. Alright, head back home. Sorry. Alright, splendid capital. After traveling through the dusty hills that compromise the hinterlands of Marieva, visitors to our capital are often surprised to encounter the verdant farmland that surrounds the fair Sabaean city. Everyone expects more deserts, not richly watered vineyards and olive groves. Thanks to the life-giving water of the Mandeb, Marieva enjoys a growing season that is practically all year round, ensuring that the citizens that live nearby will always have their share of fresh fruits and vegetables in the markets to choose from. It comes as no surprise to hear the natural growth of the city, then as people from all across the nation have settled in the nation's capital. Our Sabaean melons are unbelievably sweet. You must try one. All we need is one more farming settlement, and but we don't have the money for it, but we know where we can get some. Conquer it. Just get home first. Our fleet is ready. Position here. Use harassment tactics. Yeah. Did giant. They conquered it and they now beat their army, then that's it for this nation. One day we will return whenever we expand into parts of Punt. So, cancel the military access. In the meantime, Shalkal now belongs to Mundia. Yep. And I wonder where he goes. Well, tell you what, I don't have him as a friend anymore. He's pretty much... In fact, I think they probably killed him as a result of the conquest. So kill the prominent characters, and I guess they killed him. They're at war against, no, Malau started it. Well, while they're distracted, here comes us. All we have to do is get home. Just get home. Oh, for future reference, look at the missions of control this. All along this coastline. Yeah, all the way. That's what a great wealth is. And since their army is away... Oh, pirates, watch out for them. Well, they're mercenaries now, but not pirates. Scram. Okay. Capture military access, and then we'll declare war. Hey, we got pirates here. Oh, crud. Bad tactic. Out. No, we have higher morale, remember that. No ships were lost. Okay, leave it with frontal assault then. And next time, try to capture some of their ships. Since the morale is so dang low, where they're going? This way. Maybe we can chase them down. Start the war. Even I have to bring you over here. Just a block item. And it's also to prevent Malal from taking it. So, after this war for Punt, we will we captured 2 ships. Excellent. Heading in this direction. Come on, this way. Haha. Yes. More ships. For us, it's free. And it appears they're going up this way. Come on. What's our naval range? Map mode. Where is it? Here it is. We can only go as far as over there before we have to turn around. So our straight crossing will be unopposed. Turn around. Don't let those pirates try to block us. Your ego has 2 heads, but not even 1 crown. Keep insulting us. See what happens. We're about to meet them again. No, they just passed through. I think they had enough of us. Let's get these newly captured ships repaired while they sit in the port doing nothing. They do have 2 galleys though, so be careful. You know, this siege here and this amount of food won't last long because we were passing through here, we kind of siphoned some of their food, their military access, so we kind of took advantage of this situation. They got a tiny bit of land on this one. The great shrine of Taif dedicated to Al-Uzza has been sacked by the forces of Maine. Our priest assured us this would bring bad fortune upon their people. We'll remember for this crime. One day we will. attack you. Yeah, they're coming to us. Loyalty and respect. Increased prestige and increased popularity, so more popularity for me. Let me get a good look at you. Your strengths. In 2 months you'll be at full strength. I'm gonna send you out on patrol. Oh, looks like they managed to beat Malau. We don't have any claims on Mosan. No, only Punt. Well, it's a different area. Well, to be fair, they probably have higher number of their levies than these guys do. Off we go. Ready to fight. Blockading earns you some gold. If you can capture one of their galleys for me, good. Not Liburnians, galleys. Well, they've taken it over. In this part of Bavaria. Tabuat Hazragiat has all by accounts has made a scholar of the divine woman for so much of her life. This caused some embarrassment. Therefore, when she was discovered extorting a local temple to an egregiously unreasonable degree, before reprimanding Tabuat, it must be said it would be expeditious to our efforts to influence her if we were to brush this under the table. A slap on her wrist ought to suffice. We got him. We got our objective. We go this way. Destroy. And then we'll move on to there. Because it's part of their territory now. There it comes. We captured our 2 galleys! Yes! That will definitely strengthen our navy. But let's see their condition of these 2 galleys here. We just captured. Oh, pretty beaten, but put them back. Here they come. Led by the child. They just had better numbers. Which is mind-boggling to me. We took their 2 galleys and the rest of them went back home. To their home ports. I'll be more than happy to take along their coasts. Get down here with us. All I need to do is just take their fort, that thing, and that's that. Move up. Gosh, the idea of leaving the levies on standing And the manpower, oh, that would be an issue. Which would be my own fault, but we'll definitely focus more on ourselves in the future. Can't wait to beat up those pirates again. Seems to regain our confidence that we have our own proper navy now. We got 2 galleys. Antigonos' death has combined recent setbacks, fractured the stability of the Cyclops' kingdom. Is their co-king Demetrios unable to hold together the expiring loyalties of his subjects, has abandoned much of the kingdom to the claims of the other diadochi, while he retreats to lick his wounds among Greek friends. Fortune is a fickle friend. Too much time? Get ready to set sail. Keep it up. Yes. I was thinking about corruption reduction, but not yet. Get in here. Yes, I know you're all starving and everything. Sit here and get some food. Alright, just take whatever you have. Ready to set sail? Yes, sir. Off you go. Khalid just can't manage anymore. It all seems getting far too real. He's become stressed, which lowers his finesse. God dang it! Sometimes enough is enough. And that time came about 9 months after conception. That's health related, but that lowers finesse. A young woman named Arvat, a little note detail now, has arrived at the palace in Mariava bearing a baby who she claims is the son of Malik Khalid. After some cross-examination, it is clear that she speaks the truth, and that child resulted from as an unadvisable mark at a banquet. This information is only known by a few of the most trusted guards and advisors of Malik, and there is no doubt it would damage both the throne's legitimacy and upset the consort of any potential successors of the Malik. Ah, hell. Ah, double hell. The mother and child disappear. Make this go away! Now, having this tyranny up, that actually lowers the aggressive expansion a bit. Doesn't do well for the lower tier characters. Now slave output goes up. So we'll blockade. This would contribute to the siege, so no one's going anywhere. Are you even getting food? Less than optimal conditions. Hey, 4 years old and your marshal just got higher than it was earlier. We'll get you in here in a moment. Malian revolt. Well, that's good. I would love to take advantage of the situation, but we're kind of far away, preoccupied with the conquests of the land of Punt proper, and a bit of Ocean, which would be a setup to conquer the coasts in future. Get over here. Because I cannot wait to have a resting period from fighting all this. Because I'm willing to take these. Because they say control all this. And one day we'll get them too. Plus this land has mirth. So we'll be looking into this whole thing regarding, you know, trade goods for next episode. Go get him. And the fleets will be fighting what's left of theirs. Maybe capture a few more ships. Nope, we sunk them both. Captured the admiral. A great shrine of Makaraba, dedicated to Leon, has been sacked by the forces of Maine. Praise service, bring bread, food. I cannot wait to fight a war against you too. We'll remember this crime. We picked a bad tactic, but we're beating them. We got him. War's over. Just take this last bit of land, and then we'll all go home. And end this episode. It's just one of the good starts for this series. Alright. So, Punt is what we want. Not sure what our loss would do for us, but... Oh, actually, the aggressive expansion here isn't as big as what we do with Saba. But I'll be more than happy to take all of this. So, you got it. Banish those clouds and put the rest to the sword. Now, please, go home. All of you. To your home port. And Hajamut looks to break an alliance against us, because he has insulted us time and time again. So now, let's end the episode with 2 missions complete, just to cap off this eventful first episode. So, now that we have conquered portions of Africa, we must have important discussions regarding the future of the region. So, Alatia does not own any territories, that's why we had to conquer all of them. And we will get the areas of Aramata and Muslim, which is these areas that we'll eventually get in the future. And we will choose how to integrate the African Latians into our Arabian realm, since they do worship the same gods as we do. Now that our victorious forces have established a beachhead in Punt, expanding our borders into Africa proper, we must decide how we're going to deal with the locals, the Latians. To assimilate or to integrate. There are good arguments for both proposals, but we shall leave the final choice to Malik Khalib. Honestly, let us integrate them and make them citizens, because having an integrated culture in your realm will actually increase the levy size from those from Punt. So, integrate them. We'll deal with that in future. Unless someone's being selfish, but not to worry. And now, the other mission complete. Of frankincense and money. The world knows our region primarily because of 2 trade goods. Luxurious incenses of frankincense and myrrh. In addition to these 2 valuable perfumes, we also produce spices that cannot be found anywhere else. We should take all the steps necessary to manufacture as much of these items as we can. Because we need to produce at least 10 incense, nerf, and spice combined. We have 12. And as you can see the highlighted green there on the map, we got them all. And a bit more than we bargained for when we decided to go further. So we gained 500 gold for this. Two of the most valuable incenses, frankincense and myrrh, are produced throughout our country, yet are desired by priests throughout the temples across the entire world, with legions of the faithful longing to please their gods with offerings of sweet smoke. Ever the businessman, the Malik consolidated our Sabaean holdings to include the majority of territories that manufacture the incense in their workshops, ensuring that we have a monopoly on a rare trade good. The fragrant smell of gold coins. Breathe it in. And perhaps in future, we're gonna let the spice flow. Yes. So now, that'll be the end of this first episode. An impressive effort of what we did here. In the next episode, our alliance with Hadramut will be broken, so it's possible hostilities may begin between us, and as well as turning our attention north to take advantage of the chaos of Maine, which they're still at war with Thamudi. They've been winning so far, but now the rebels are causing trouble there. Perhaps we may take advantage of it if Hadramut doesn't stab us in the back, which they will. So, we hope you people have enjoyed this eventful first episode of Imperator Rome Invictus Saba. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, so long for now.